Okay, so let's get to the really rad part of my life and my story. This is titled. Well, this is about the woman in the bookstore and what she pointed me in my direction. It was a lot like seeing, you know how you always see like in a lot of science fiction movies, somebody comes across this psychic or this empath or this woman, fortune teller, fortune teller. That's exactly what kind of happened here. Um, so what happened was I was working at. I'll try to get through this really quick though, but I was working at a Halloween store, and that day it was either that day or the day before. I told this lady I always have. It's funny. I told her the same day it happened. I was like, a lot of strange things happen with me in technology, and I was serious about it. I was half serious. Like I'm kind of like the gremlin of technology. And then something happened, and it was completely unexplainable. It made no sense to her or me. And she just looked at me and she's like, "You?" She was like, "You are some kind of special," as a short black lady. But anyway, so that's like a little precursor to this whole story too. And but anyway, so then I went on break, and I went to the bookstore. I went to Barnes and Noble, and I went to the spiritual section, and I reached for a book, and there's a woman, really short, black woman with glasses, like very poetic looking, very sophisticated. She had dreads, and she's like, "Why did you pick that book?" And then she went on to explain like the energy and actions and reactions of people all around you, and she's very very bright, and it was very. I was really intrigued. I was really curious, and then she's like, "Well, how do you think you and I know each other?" And in my mind, the first image that popped up was this. It was this painting I had on Papyrus that I bought a long time ago, of Akhenaten, Egyptian times and everything. And I bet I didn't say it because she was still talking. So I was like thinking about that. And then she continued to talk about, like she pointed out different reactions of energy and how this one guy was there with his daughter and she was looking for a book for horses. And then it was really strange because she kept pointing out things all around. And people were like listening and they were like looking over and listening and everything. Like they were trying to pretend they were reading, but they were listening. It was really bizarre. And I had picked up this book of art or something. It was like all multicultural and everything. It was just like the history of art. And like I was just paging through it, like not even looking at the book, just kind of like, okay, I'm interested, but I'm a little uncomfortable because this is really cool what she's saying. And then as I'm flipping through it, she's like, "That's how we know each other." And she landed on the picture that I had in my head. Um, and and I was like, and she started talking about the importance of motherhood, and this goes back to motherhood and who we are as people. And she's like, "Write that book." And she didn't know that I was already writing a book. I started writing that summer. This was in the fall. And she's like, "Write that book and write it in your language, the only language you know." And music is my language, and music is a thing that pulls from a lot of different cultures, and I think brings people together. Um, and she's like, "And as soon as you do, and as soon as you start putting your story out there," and she like got up close to me, and she went like this, and she went like that, and then and she said, she's like, "You are being watched." And she's like, "They are watching you," and of course that can mean anything. That can mean angels. That can mean alien, angels, aliens, whatever. But then what I later realized was like, no, she was actually right, because this goes into the military too, and the surveillance and everything, and that's what ended up actually happening. It gets into some really strange, really cool things, some dynamic things. But she said they are watching you. But when she said it, it wasn't quite like an intimidation thing. But I was being prepared to be put through a lot of challenges, and I didn't realize it yet. So I got into a lot of crazy science fiction things, yes. But when I speak the truth, when I just go verbatim, chronologically, my story and the story of the Phoenix Rising and Atlantis culture and the gay culture and the love story between two men and the the music and the cultural diversity and that pure celebration of life, especially when we go through a time of division and what's going to help us bring us back, there's still something there, guys. Like, I can undeniably say my life in reality is stranger than fiction. Yes, and it should be written as a movie, and that would be an amazing beginning of moving forward here for myself and for other people. So I'm going to keep it short. That's the story of the lady in the bookstore, the fortune teller in the bookstore. And then I'm going to get into more how that goes into the military and everything like that. Strange things happen, but beautiful things happen, and great things are on the rise. We just got to keep strong and keep faith, and stay independent and stay true to yourself, and don't let other people don't let anybody else, including myself, influence you with your own belief system or hinder yourself from being the truest part of yourself. And that's what's important. So much love, guys.